So tonight I am just playing random ass games. I have no idea how they're gonna go, what they sound like, and we're using my special little FMV screen because I didn't feel like making anything tonight. So this is a random game that was a couple dollars. No idea what it's about, no idea what it really is, to be honest. I assume some sort of visual novel. So when it comes to those, I don't know if they're voiced or not, or if there's just text. If there's just text, I will try to pick up on that and do some reading. Because some people like to put on a stream and not really pay attention. So we'll jump in and see what happens. Because I'm curious. I'm curious. If I don't like it, I'll stop playing, switch to something else. I think that's just the way it's gonna go tonight. Because I need to go through some games, get rid of them, try some things out. Space really is incredible. It's possibly impossibly vast, infinitely so, in fact, and it's expanding all the time. I've always liked stargazing, but what really got me invested in space was my older cousin CG. He's an even bigger space nut than I am, if that can be believed. When I was younger, CG used to take me hiking, so we could look up at the stars. He gave me a collapsible telescope for my 12th birthday. It was a pretty cheap telescope, and it wasn't all that powerful, but I cherished it. Those days I spent with my cousin out in the sticks were truly precious. A lot of time has passed since then, though, and I'm not the wide-eyed, easily impressed little kid I used to be. I'm 19, and I've since moved from the countryside to attend university in Tokyo. I'm studying physics thanks to my childhood fascination with the stars, and I have dreams of becoming a researcher when I graduate. I'd love to work for JAXA one day and oversee satellites as they're launched into orbit. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Nothing's certain in life. It's best to focus on the here and now. I don't want to end up disappointed, even if I'm doing all in my power to make my dreams come true. I'll take things one step at a time. Since I'd lived out in the sticks all my life, moving to Tokyo was initially a huge culture shock. Tokyo is busy 24/7 with a huge amount of buildings and is wreathed in perpetually flickering lights. I live in a rundown apartment block with a bunch of other guys around my age. I'm situated on the 3rd floor in a teeny room with a tatami floor that overlooks a parking lot and a bunch of Chinese restaurants. The smell of frying beef loin and pork belly wafts through my window every evening without fail, which ensures I always go to sleep hungry. I live in a pretty busy area and cars go by every hour of the day. In the beginning, their constant humming used to bother me, but I've gotten used to it. I've been in Tokyo for 8 months now, and the regular hustle and bustle has become old hat. My passion for space hasn't waned during these months, but I've not had many opportunities to put the telescope CG gave me to good use. I still have it, old and worn though it is, but Tokyo's night skies are so crowded it's hard to get a good view of the stars. There's too much light pollution to contend with, not to mention all the actual pollution. The skies here are never as clear as they are back home. That's the one thing I miss about the countryside. I wasn't too cut up about leaving my childhood home on account of its critical lack of decent shops and the awful public transport, but the clear night skies were something special. I think I took them for granted. I had no idea before I left Tokyo, what I'd be saying goodbye to. It's not all doom and gloom, though. I can't stargaze as often as I'd like, but I do have occasional opportunities to peruse the night sky. My university has a club devoted solely for stargazing, which, of course, I signed up for in a snap. I figured that I, alongside my new club members, would be making regular trips out to the countryside to camp beneath the stars, like I did with CG in my childhood. But my dreams of camaraderie under the stars were doused when the reality of the situation hit me. My university's astronomy class is, to put it politely, somewhat lacking. And to put it rather less politely, it's almost a non-entity. I'm surprised it's still running, given its list of members stops short at a measly 2. There's the club leader, a cheery girl called Akasaka Hiyori, 1 year my senior, and me, Takagi Haru, and that's it. The end. C'est fini. We're the only members of the astronomy club. I'm stuck dealing with Hiyori all alone, and boy, is she a lot to deal with. For example, hey Haru, it's good to see you again this morning. Glomp. I think that's a sound effect, but that I don't think. MySpace days trauma flashback. Ah! I start surprised as I feel a soft sensation pushed up against my arm. I probably shouldn't be as surprised as I am given how often this scene plays out, but it shocks me all the same. I've only just stepped outside and I'm already being assaulted. How are you, Haru? Are you doing well? I hope you've been looking after yourself. It's been chilly lately, hasn't it? You ought to make sure you wrap up warm and make sure you eat a lot of nutritious food, too. Hiyori starts babbling 19 to the dozen, as she always does. It's hard to get any words in when this girl is around, but I have to at least make an effort. Hey, Hiyori. I try to wrench my arm free of her pincher-like grip to little avail. She's clinging to me hard, as though she's afraid I might disappear. Which, if I'm being fair, would be a wholly baseless fear. I do find Hiyori's company quite overwhelming. She's more touchy-feeling than any girl I've met before. Not that I know that many girls, and we haven't known each other all that long. It's not like we're childhood friends or anything. She has no sense of boundaries whatsoever. To be honest, I find Hiyori's clinginess kind of endearing. But she can be a bit too handsy at times. A bit of affection every now and then is nice. She does have the tendency to take things a bit too far, though. She's clinging to me pretty tightly. Do you think you could let go of me, Hiyori? My arm's starting to go numb. But Haru, Hiyori pouts, her wide eyes boring into my own. Hiyori looks pretty plain with her bob brown hair and her brown eyes, but in terms of personality, she really is out there. Is she overcompensating for her average looks? I've often pondered this during the months I've known her. But that's a mean thought, so I'll keep it to myself. I have to cling to you to warm you up. It's a cold day, and oh! Hiyori squeezed my hand between her own, then squeaks in alarm. Why don't you wear gloves? The weather reporter said it was below 0. It's alright. I used to live in the countryside. It got even colder there. I'm used to it. Wow, that's so cool. You always act so tough. Hiyori giggles, then snuggles even closer to me. She lets go of my hand, thank goodness, but her fingers are quick to coil once more around my arm. She pulls my body towards her, pressed her cheeks to the curves of my shoulder, then beams. But you don't need to act tough around me. We are friends, after all. If you are cold, just say the word and I'll warm you up in a snap. My body temperature is a little higher than your average person's, though that should be expected given I'm not an average person at all. You should already know that by this point, though, so I won't bore you with the details. Yeah, thanks? Hiyori might look completely normal to an outsider, but she maintains, quite forcefully, in fact, that she is not, in fact, an ordinary girl. She believes instead that she is an alien. I was pretty unnerved when she first told me this insane theory, and to be honest, I'm still unnerved. I thought about quitting the astronomy club when she dropped that bombshell, but I wasn't able to do it. I love stargazing too much to pass it up, and while she is strange, I don't think she means any ill will. She's a nice girl, really, if a bit too attentive to my needs, and I definitely don't dislike her. If it weren't for me, the astronomy club would have only one member, and it would be forced to disband. I know how much her club means to her, so I'd hate to be the harbinger of its demise, even if it is on its last legs. I'm willing to tough out Hiyori's, Hiyori-ness, at least until the end of the semester, but... Hey Haru, can you maybe, not flirt with your girlfriend so early in the morning? You're going to make me puke, man.
That's right, you don't have to show off like that. Are you trying to rub it in? Guys with girlfriends are the worst. They think they're all that just because they have a bit more luck than us. Normies really are the worst. They should all drop dead.
Jeez. I sigh. It's such a cold day. My breath, as it escapes from my mouth, turns white and gauzy, like steam. I was hoping to steer Hiyori away from the apartment before my housemates woke up, but I'm all out of luck. I've already been spotted. Koichi is glaring at me like he wants to punch a hole through my face, and Kosuke just spat on the sidewalk. How charming. Not. And Kosuke wonders why he doesn't have a girlfriend. Not that I'm dating Hiyori, for all she clings to me. Oh, hi there, Haru's housemates. Heedless of my housemates' death glares, Hiyori shoots them a cheery smile. It's nice to see you. Make sure you wrap up warm, alright? It's very cold. I'd hate for you to get sick, and I'd hate it even more if you gave my dear Haru pneumonia. Hey, guys. I waved to my housemates with my free hand, then tried to extricate myself from both Hiyori and this awkward misunderstanding. I think you've got the wrong idea. Hiyori and I aren't dating. I begin, but Kosuke cuts me off. Like hell you aren't. What girl clings to a guy if she doesn't have a thing for him? I'm not stupid, you know. I could see what's going on. This girl totally has the hots for you. Kosuke's right. It's so obvious. You can't trick us with that we're not dating bullcrap. She only disdains to look at us because we live with you. I don't care one way or another if you want to flirt, but don't, do it right in front of us, man. It's rude. No, we're really not dating. I try again, but to little avail. Oh, spare me the excuses. You're starting to piss me off. Let's go, guys. Sure, anything to get away from those two lovebirds. Heh. Kosuke spits on the ground again before departing, skulking along in his beaten-up winter coat behind Koichi and Daigo. I watch them head off down the street, then sigh. It's not even 8 yet, and I already feel exhausted. Tired of being at odds with my housemates thanks to Hiyori. I used to get along with Koichi just pretty fine, until she began to cling to me like this. I don't think she intended to drive a wedge between me and the guys, but that's how it ended up. Maybe I'd feel less bitter about this if we were actually dating, but we're not. It's all a genuine misunderstanding, but how can I tell my housemates that they refuse to listen to me? Hell, if I was in their shoes, I wouldn't listen to me either. Hiyori's closeness does look awfully suspicious. If only they understood that she has a few screws loose. That might salvage some goodwill from the wreckage of our cash-sized friendships. But then again, maybe not. I shouldn't hold out any hope. Haru? Hiyori peers at me, her arms still looped through mine. Are you alright? You've gone very quiet. You're not cold, are you? No, I'm fine. I'm just thinking. I consider... I don't know what I skipped. I skipped something. About? I consider scolding her, then think better of it. She never listens to me. I doubt it'd do much, and in any case, I don't want to upset her. I'd like to think of myself as a gentleman. Oh, it's nothing, really. I force a smile, then try to shrug Hiyori's grasping arm off mine. Would you mind letting go? It'll be hard to walk to university with you clinging like that. I don't want to be late. Oh, right, you have a point. Sorry. When I see you, I just can't help myself. The embarrassed reactions of you humans are simply too charming. You're a human too, you know. I mumble under my breath, but she doesn't seem to hear. She's good at conveniently blotting out remarks that conflict with her warped world view. At least she lets go of me, and at long last, which is something of a mercy. I do wish she'd relinquish her grip on me earlier, though. It would have saved me a lot of scrutinizing glares from my once-was trio of friends. Shall we head over to the campus then? Yes, let's. Hiyori beams at me, her choppy brown hair shifting about her face. Let's go together. We have a lot to discuss. We still need to plan out the finer details of tonight's hot pot party. Oh yeah, I'd almost forgotten about that. It's good that you have me to remind you about these things then, isn't it? I swear, you humans would forget your heads if they weren't screwed onto your necks. How's your race become the dominant force upon this planet? I shall never know. It really is a mystery. It isn't really. Darwin did a lot of good work demystifying all that. Haven't you heard of natural selection? Oh really? I'm not good with complicated stuff like that. Hiyori falls into step with me as we walk over to the campus. The university's about an hour away. We could take the bus or the train, but I prefer walking. I like to get a bit of exercise in every day. I don't want to become a total slob, beholden to the convenience of public transport. So, about the hot pot party, Hiyori says once we've exhausted the subject of natural selection. I think we'll have it in the astronomy club room after we're done stargazing on the roof. I'll start cooking pretty late, maybe around 2100. How does that sound? Do you think you can hold out till then? That should be fine, yeah. I offer her a small smile, touched by her thoughtfulness. That's one thing I can't fault her for. She is a considerate person. In some regards. I'll eat a big lunch. That should tide me over. Plus, your cooking's delicious. It's always worth waiting for. I'm not just saying that either. Hiyori's cooking is one of the pluses of being a member of the astronomy club, though we're the astronomy club on paper. Hiyori treats the club room more like a restaurant. Hiyori made chilled noodles in the summer, and now it's winter she's been preparing all kinds of warm dishes. There's a brazier in the club room for grilling meat and stirring soups, and even she has a mini fridge to store ingredients. The fridge is perpetually full of veggies, plus the huge plastic cartons of barley tea she likes so much. Rest and recuperation. For all I grouse about Hiyori, she sure knows how to make the club room cozy. You charmer, you. Hiyori giggles, then nudges me to the side with her elbow. You know exactly what to say to girls to win them over. Not that I'm complaining. Your tactics aren't even effective on me, even though I'm no ordinary girl. Yeah. It always comes back to this with Hiyori. Whenever I start thinking I might enjoy her company, she has to ruin the moment. Sometimes I wonder why she is so desperate to stand out. While it's common to want to be special, people generally shed this desire when they get older. Could it be a holdover from her childhood? Maybe her parents were neglectful. That might explain her insatiable desire for attention. Not that I can say for certain. I don't know much about her family. She's a chatterbox, but she hardly ever speaks about them. So, do you have any requests for tonight's hot pot? Is there anything in particular you want? Not really, though I do like the enoki mushrooms. Well, yeah, those are practically a given. Who doesn't put those in a hot pot? That's a good point. Then, I weigh up my options while running a hand through my hair. What about rice cake? I'm pretty fond of that. Sure thing, I can pick some up from the supermarket along with the rest of the ingredients. And what about the broth? Do you have a special request? Anything's fine, as long as it's not too spicy. Now, that's a pity. You know how much I love spice, especially when it gets in your nose. Feels good when you're eating hot food and start to sneeze. But I guess most humans don't like that. No, we most certainly do not. You're so weird. That should go without saying. I am an alien after all. Yeah, I know. She told me about it enough times. Not that I believe her. Her family name is Akasaka, for goodness sake. That's about as basic you can get. She's not that far removed from the Tanakas or the Suzukis of this world. How many families called Akasaka dwell in space? Not many, I'd be willing to bet. If her family name was something like, oh, I don't know, Cloud Walker, I might be more willing to take her wild claims about her alien lineage more seriously. But she's way too normal. Everything about her is normal, save for these delusions of hers. Sometimes I wish she wasn't such a good cook. Then I might have had the good sense to quit the club months ago, when she started spouting all this crazy nonsense. I think it's too late for that now, though. I decided to stick with her, and now I'm in it for the long haul. At least her cooking's a good consolation prize, even if her waffle about aliens unnerves me. Hey, Haru. Her footsteps come to a halt. She peers at me, linking her arms through mine once more, and pouts. Why aren't you saying anything? I don't have anything to say. But I just told you I was an alien. Doesn't that warrant some kind of reaction? You tell me you're an alien every day. I've gotten used to it. How can you get used to it? Hiyori pouts. It should be a revelation, particularly for a guy like you who loves space. Doesn't it excite you? It's lost its luster. Haru, I don't think you're treating this with the gravitas it deserves. In fact, sometimes I don't think you believe me at all. Maybe you think I'm teasing you or lying, but I'm not. I'm being honest. Everything I say is true. I believe that you believe everything that you're saying is true, but as for me, you have your doubts. A few, yeah, I mean, I clear my throat. Tried a little bit. I don't want to be mean to her, not after she's been so kind to me, but I don't want to indulge her. You don't look anything like an alien. You seem like a regular human girl to me in every regard. That is what you think, but how can you say that for certain? You've never seen my whole body. Right, I frown. Is that supposed to be a pickup line? Is that how you're interpreting it? Hiyori smiles vaguely. Maybe it is. I don't think I'd mind if you saw me naked. I don't trust other humans, but you're special to me. Am I not special to you, too? Hiyori peers at me, her expression winsome. We are friends, aren't we? We are, sure, but it's because we're friends that there are some things we shouldn't do. Such as getting naked in front of one another. That far surpasses the boundaries of mere friendship in my eyes, at least. Now, we've really got to hurry or we'll be late for class. I'm going to run. What? Hey, Haru! Hiyori calls after me as I take off, the soles of my sneakers slapping against the dull gray sidewalk. I can't see Hiyori's face anymore, but I bet she's pouting. Oh well, if she really is an alien, she can always summon her spaceship or something. Not that this'll ever happen. There's no way Hiyori's an alien, and I have no interest in humoring her. It is, quite frankly, impossible. I eventually arrive on campus, no thanks to her, and head over to my first lecture of the day. I take a seat in the middle of the auditorium and take notes while my professor talks. I'm pretty passionate about my education, even this far into my course, which is more than can be said for some of my classmates. A few of my fellow students are slumped in seats at every back of the room and trying to catch some covert 40 winks. Okay. I wonder if they stayed up late last night partying. That's not an uncommon occurrence even during weekdays. I guess it is Friday though. My peers just couldn't wait for the weekend. I don't really go to parties myself, unlike the others. Koichi used to invite me out when I first moved into our apartment, but Hiyori's presence paid to that pretty sharpish. Some of these lines. Hiyori might be one of the only friends I have, and I'm not entirely sure if she's my friend or somebody I simply endure. I definitely don't hate her, but, it's complicated. Our relationship isn't nearly as complicated as physics, however. I have to focus so I don't lose track of what the professor's saying. I'm kept busy in lectures and seminars for the lion's share of the day. Fridays are particularly hectic for me. It's a little after 1800 when I finish with my final class, and the sky is already dark. Since it's January, the sun sets pretty early. The campus is usually pitch black at 5:30 or so. I feel tired thanks to all that frantic note-taking, and it's on weary limbs I haul myself off into the club room. The astronomy club room is located in an out-of-the-way spot on the campus, a bit behind the library. This is the oldest block of the university, and it's in dire need for refurbishment. The floors are wooden and they creak when stepped on like something from a horror movie. The windows, meanwhile, are dirty from years of neglect, and all the doors creak. This building is so woefully dated, I think it might be a relic from the Taisho era. It has a pretty spooky vibe, particularly late at night. I wouldn't be surprised if it were haunted by a ghost or two. Not that I believe in ghosts, of course. They're even less scientific than aliens. There is at least a possibility that aliens might exist, though none have been recorded. Sorry, Hiyori, but you don't count. There is no hard evidence, however, that suggests ghosts might be real. All fortune tellers are crooks, no matter what they say, and seances are a bunch of baloney. I know that logically, and yet... Creak. The floor creaks ominously beneath me, which sends a shiver down my spine. This building really does give me the creeps. It's so old, only a few rooms are used. The tiny clubs with hardly any members get shunted here, like the Karuta Club, which commands the ground floor, and the Occult Club. I don't really interact with members from either club. The members of the Karuta Club will all be smacking cards around dressed in traditional Japanese attire. They really go all out. And the last I heard of the Occult Club, they're busy trying to summon a demon. I don't think their attempts are going too well, but I have no words of commiseration to offer them either. This place is eerie enough without it becoming a meetup place for the denizens of hell. Eventually, I make it to the third floor where the astronomy club room's located. I open the door, which parts with a rattle like a dying man's last breath, and let myself in. Hey, Haru. Hiyori greets me, smiling cheerfully. Right now, she's kneeling by the fridge, which she's stuffing with packs of meat and a couple of carrier bags at her feet. She swivels her head back to look at me, though, still crouched. It's so good to see you. Come in and have a seat. You don't need to tell me that. I was planning on it. I close the door behind me, then deposit my bag down on the ground. Jeez. I sink onto the well-worn couch with a sigh, not even bothering to remove my coat. That sounds too much like hard work. I'm beat. Did you have a busy day? Yeah, it was pretty tense. Pretty intense. My hands are aching from taking so many notes. You could always use a laptop, you know. That might make things easier. A pencil and paper is so old school. I guess. I lean back on the couch and look up at the ceiling, frowning. It's rare for Hiyori to come out with anything so sensible, but even she has her moments. I prefer using a pen and paper, though. It feels easier to take in information if I have to write out each character. Plus, it's what I'm used to. We didn't use laptops at my school very much. You went to a small school in the countryside, right? Uh-huh. It was really tiny. There were maybe 80 kids there. If that, I would assume. Really? Well, maybe that's, yeah, total. I was like, that's how many were in my class. Gee. Wow. Hiyori whistles. That is small. Coming here must have been a culture shock. Like the thing he said in the beginning. It was, I guess. Not that I was utterly familiar with the city. I wasn't a total bumpkin. I guess old habits die hard, though. I still don't feel comfy typing, which might be a problem, come to think of it, given I want to work on satellites when I graduate. I laugh weakly, but in my sleepy state, my laugh soon transmutes to a yawn. When I blink, I can feel tears beating in my eyes. My. Hiyori shuts the fridge, then stands. She surveys me with a sweet smile, her head tilted, and says, You really must be tired. Perhaps you should have a quick nap. Is that alright? I don't want to ruin our plans for tonight. Oh, don't worry about it. It's fine. I can wake you up in an hour, and we can go stargazing then. The stars aren't going to go anywhere. In fact, I think it's better if we wait. It's a bit too cloudy to break the telescope out now. Right. That sounds good. I yawn again, but I stifle it with the palm of my right hand. There's a red welt on the inside of my index finger, I note. That must be from gripping my pencil too tight. I get calluses pretty often. Maybe I have sensitive skin. I wonder if this is a sign I should start using my laptop during lectures after all. Seems a waste to have one and not use it. Costs quite a lot of money and my family isn't the wealthiest. I yawn again. The couch in the club room is pretty soft despite it being so old, and its comforting embrace is lulling me into a world of dreams. My eyelids fall shut and my breath soon begins to even out. I think I'll take you up on that nap. Wake me when you want to go to the roof, alright? I don't want to miss out. I know, you're even crazier about the stars than I am, and that's where I come from. Hiyori giggles. But yeah. Leave everything in my capable hands. I'll look after you, Haru. For now, you should rest. Thanks. That sounds pretty good. It's with this yawn deeper than the last that my conscience finally begins to fade. Darkness consumes me, and my thoughts all slide into the abyss. Hey Haru, wakey wakey, you've had a full hour. Huh? I'm stirred from my torpor by a hand upon my shoulder and a gentle exhalation of air against my cheek. I shiver. Slowly I crack one eye open, and then the other. Hey there, Haru. Hiyori greets me with a smile, her expression soft and gentle like a watercolor painting. She's kneeling in front of the couch, her face is only inches away from mine, her hands are resting on her knees while her head's tilted to one side. We're so close, our lips would brush if I were to lean in. But of course, I don't do that. I don't know how precisely I feel about Hiyori, but I don't think I want to rush into any kind of relationship with her. That sounds like more trouble than it's worth. Still, it's not a bad way to be woken up. Being roused by my alarm clock during the cold, wintry mornings is certainly less pleasant than being shaken into alertness by a smiling Hiyori. Hey there yourself. I return Hiyori's greeting with one of my own, then sit up. My limbs feel a little stiff after napping for so long, and I still feel a touch fatigued. I yawn, one hand pressed on my mouth, my eyes squeezed shut, tears beating in my lashes. Why have I been feeling so sleepy lately? It must be the season. Winter always tires me out. It's so chilly and it gets so dark. So early. Not that the latter point bothers me too much. Staring at the sun only hurts your eyes, but looking up the moon can be soothing, therapeutic experience. I've always liked staring at the stars. Speaking of which, are you ready to head up to the roof? I'm ready when you are. Hiyori retrieves her own foldable telescope, which is more powerful and more expensive model than mine, and tucks it under her arms and then rises to her feet. Shall we head up? The clouds have cleared up a bunch since you started snoozing. It's a great night for stargazing. Great, I'm glad to hear that. I yawn again, then get to my feet. Let's go and take a look. Yes, sir, roger that. Now, why are you calling me sir? You're the club leader, not me, and you're a year older than I am. If anything, I should be the one bowing and scraping to you. I guess that is true. Hehehe. I wouldn't feel right bossing you around, though. I value you too much to treat you like that. And besides, you are the only member left in this club. Other than myself, I can't scare you away. I'm relying on you to stick by my side, even if everybody else has left me. That sounds kind of needy, Hiyori. I am needy. I'm not ashamed of admitting it. I need you. Well, gee. I glance away, my face turning red. I'm well aware that I'm indispensable to her, given my status as her sole fellow club member, but hearing it spelled out like that is kind of embarrassing. Hiyori sounds so grateful, I wouldn't be surprised if she started groveling at my feet. Not that she could right now, given the telescope wedged beneath her arm. I doubt she'd want to drop it. It's a very delicate piece of machinery. I should change the subject for both the sake of my stammering heart and her telescope, which is just as indispensable to the astronomy club as I am. Its destruction would put a bit of a damper on the night. I'm happy to hear that, I guess. Right now, however, we shouldn't be worrying about who owes who what. Let's just look at the stars. Alrighty then. Hiyori giggles. Let's get this show on the road, or in this case, the roof. The last one there's a rotten egg. Half an hour later.
A trophy was earned.
Huh. Wow, the stars all look so clear tonight. It almost feels like we aren't even in Tokyo. We could be out in the countryside, all away from all the lights and the cars. It's incredible! Hiyori stares into the vast expanse of space which hangs above us. Her right eye trained through the eyepiece of her telescope. The telescope is set up by the edge of the roof, its optical tube tilted back and its thick lens directed at the sky. Hiyori has been hogging the telescope ever since we got onto the roof, but I can't really fault her for it. It does belong to her. I'm fine with waiting my turn. Venus looks so close tonight, it almost feels like I could reach out and touch it. I wonder if that's an omen of good fortune. Hee hee hee. Though Hiyori's cheery exclamations are making me itch with curiosity. I want to take a good look at Venus too, not that I haven't a dozen times in the past. CG used to point out all the planets and the constellations to me during our walks. It's thanks to his tutelage that I've become so good at identifying the facets of our solar system. I've pored over the planets more often than most, but yet I don't grow tired of it. Space is an endless source of fascination to me, perhaps because space itself is infinite. There's only so much you could see of it, even with a telescope. But new discoveries are being made by scientists all the time. I'd kill to get my hands on one of the heavy-duty telescopes they use in JAXA. Well, maybe not quite. I don't like the sight of blood, but there's not much I wouldn't be prepared to do. I guess you could say I'm obsessed with the stars. Ah, this is so cool. On this point, at least, Hiyori and I are in complete agreement. I don't think we all have that much in common, but our shared love of space binds us together. I could never bring myself to bring the club, no matter how touchy-feely she may be. These quiet moments spent together observing space from the roof of the university are all incredibly precious to me. It is pretty chilly, though. I jam my hands deep into my pockets, trying to fend off the worst of the cold, and tip my head back. The moon greets my wandering eyes, round and white like an egg. I can't see its ridges too well, but I bet I could with the aid of the telescope. The moon is easy to spot, but no less fascinating for it. It's the Earth's only natural satellite, and it's the 5th largest satellite in the solar system. Other planets have more moons. Jupiter, for example, has 79. Jupiter's largest moons are Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. They're not observable with the naked eye, but you could see them with binoculars if the weather is right and you know where to look. What other moons are there in the solar system beyond Earth's orbit? Mercury and Venus aren't known to have any natural satellites, though there have been reports about a moon being spotted circling Venus since the 17th century. Mars has 2 moons, Uranus 27, and Saturn, how many does that have? I can't remember off the top of my head, though I did know once. I think it has more known moons than Jupiter, despite being the smaller of the 2 planets. Does it have 80, 81? What are their names? I can't remember. Most moons are named after gods and goddesses, figures from antiquity. I'm not too interested in Greek and Roman myth, but studying space got me into reading up on these old legends too. It's all pretty interesting. Achoo. But not even my musing can fully distract from how cold I am. As much as I love the planets and the moons that circle them, I'll be glad to get back inside to sample Hiyori's hot pot. My poor fingers feel frozen. Hey, Hiyori. I call out to the leader of the astronomy club, who's still parked in front of the telescope. Have you had your fill? I want to take a look now. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Hiyori glances at me from over her shoulder, then pokes out her tongue in apology. I was so caught up, I forgot about you. Hehehe. Some senior I am, huh? I ought to look out for you more, Haru. You are my cute junior, after all. I don't know if I'm all that cute, my brow furrows, but I am freezing my butt off. I bet your butt is awfully cute, too. How would you know that? You've never seen it. Maybe not, but I can always imagine. Hiyori titters, then steps back away from the telescope. She gestures towards me, dropping me a bow as she does so, like a butler. It's all yours. Please feel free to take a look. Why, thank you so kindly for your generosity. I bow my head, a cynical smile on my face, and take my place by the telescope. I adjust the lens, then peer up at the night sky. I drink in Venus, which, as Hiyori said, is very clear tonight. Or at least as clear as Venus can be, given its surface is perpetually shrouded in shifting clouds of sulfuric acid. Venus's rocky surface is enveloped completely in these clouds, but I can see patches of dark and light speckled across the surface. I shift the telescope to the right, drinking in the stars that twinkle in the firmament. I'm more invested in the planets and their satellites than the stars, but the stars are very pretty too. I'm content to simply gaze upon them, lost in the majesty of space. But something stops me short. I do a double take. There's something cleaving through the sky, leaving a white trail behind like a cloud of exhaust from an airplane. What could it be? A comet? Maybe a shooting star? Hey, Hiyori. I tear my eye away from the telescope to look at her, my brow furrowed. That one. Did you see that? See what? That band of white light just there. No, there. I point to the sky, my arm outstretched like that alien from the popular American movie. I thought the flicker I detected from the telescope might have been a figment of my imagination. It passed by so quickly after all, but I can see the light again with the naked eye. There really is a tail of white light canvassing the sky, and what's more, it seems to be getting closer. What could it be? Oh, wow! Hiyori stares at the light, enraptured. Her mouth falls open in a small O of surprise, her hands clutched at her front. I think this is the first time I've seen a shooting star so clearly. It's very pretty. It is pretty, yes, but is it really a shooting star? What else would it be? I don't know, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I think it's moving a bit too quickly for a shooting star, and that trajectory. My brow furrows once more. I hope I'm imagining things, but is it me, or does it seem like it's heading in our direction? I stare at the pinprick of light, which grows bigger and more intense with every passing second. I wasn't sure of my hypothesis at first, but now I have no doubts. This star, if it really is a star, really is plummeting towards us at a speed I can't even begin to fathom. It gets closer and closer still until... Hiyori, look out! Eek! I push the transfixed Hiyori to the side, hoping to rescue her from the blast zone of the falling piece of space debris, and land on the university roof with a dull thud. Pain sears through my legs, short and sharp. The air forces its way from my lungs, and I gag on the crisp night air. When I glance up, my vision hazy, I can see the object is still shuttling towards us, so white and bright it hurts my eyes to look at it. It's pretty, but I have no doubts now that it's deadly too. I'll not be able to escape its blast zone, not on my injured leg, but maybe Hiyori can. That seems like wishful thinking. On impact, this thing will sure to be... I'm having a dyslexic moment or something here. Short circuiting, I don't know. That seems like wishful thinking. On impact, this thing will be sure to leave behind a massive crater, but I don't want to abandon hope. You have to run, Hiyori. Get out of here. What? But Haru, what about you? I'll be fine. You go on without me, please. Hiyori, I say, but I can't finish the rest of my sentence. I feel something collide with me, knocking what little air out of my lungs which still remained. I coughed, choking on nothing, my head smacking against the roof with another thud. Then, everything goes black. Are you alright, Haru? What? I blink groggily, then finally, after what seems a small eternity, open my eyes. My head is throbbing something fierce, and Hiyori's panicky voice isn't doing much to assuage its aching. My limbs, meanwhile, feel very heavy, my legs in particular. What in the world happened? I remember I was standing on the rooftop, looking up at the night sky, and the next... Oh, thank goodness you're all right. I was so worried about you. You were out cold for ages. Really? I frown. Define ages. I can't rightly say. It was such a state. I was in such a state. I wasn't keeping track of the time. I felt like a long time. It felt like a long while. But now that I think about it, maybe it was only a few minutes? You were so still, though. You looked like a doll. Or a corpse. Yuri shudders. Still, you're awake now, and that's all that matters. How is your head? Does it hurt? A bit, yeah. I feel pretty funny. I should be alright, though. Let me try to sit up. I make an attempt to sit, but... It's to little avail. What's going on? I feel alright despite the dull throbbing on my skull, but my body refuses to obey me. Why can't I stand? I haven't lost the use of my legs, have I? They feel disconcertingly numb, but at least I can feel them. That has to count for something, right? I can see well enough and my vision isn't blurring. As for my legs, however, I look up, my brow furrowed. It's the only thing that bastard does. And... oh, heavens. A single exclamation falls from my lips. It's only a single syllable, but it communicates my surprise better than any essay could. Now I see why my legs feel so strange. This whole situation, or so it seems, is strange in general. Greetings, Earthlings, whose name I believe is Haru. It is a pleasure to meet you, though I fear it is not under the best circumstances. I must apologize profusely for running into you. I only hope I have not caused you too many problems. There's somebody sitting on top of me, quite as a distinctive somebody at that. A woman is perched on my lap, her plump thighs splayed, pinning me in place. Her skin looks smooth and her eyes large, which, when combined, makes her look youthful. If I had to guess her age, I'd put her in the same bracket as Hiyori and I, in her very late teens to early 20s. Maybe she's 21, 22, it's hard to say with certainty. Her hair is long and pale green. You can kind of see it. Okay, it really looks light versus white. Yeah. Like seafoam. Yeah, sure. It falls over her shoulders, fluttering in a cool breeze which bites through my coat and shirt. Though it's a cold night, this woman has foregone practical attire. She's wearing clothes the likes of which I've never seen before, outside of silly sci-fi flicks and Halloween costumes. I'm not even sure how to describe her getup. My aching head and general disorientation isn't helping. But if put on the spot, I guess I'd say that she's... enticing. Peculiar though her outfit is, she's definitely very attractive. I can't help but wonder, though, whether she's cold wearing a skin-tight outfit like that. Backlit by the moon as she is, with the stars twinkling beyond her, this woman looks almost ethereal. Or maybe extraterrestrial. Extraterrestrial. What did she say to me just now? My mind isn't working properly. That fall really did a number on my head, and this woman's sudden, inexplicable appearance makes it chug slower still. Did she call me an Earthling? Then that would make her... an alien? I suppose that is how I must seem to you, though I have never considered myself as such. To me, you are the alien, you and your friend. But as I am on your planet now, I must oblige by your customs. I am an outsider, so I will not take any offense at being called an alien. You may call me that if you wish, if it will make things easier for you to understand. Wow, how considerate of you. Do you really think so? That makes me very happy. This is the first time I've ever been to this planet of yours, which is very lovely, by the way, and I am not entirely sure how I ought to act. I do not fully understand the customs of you Earthlings, but I am willing to try. Please do not berate me too harshly if I cause offense, though. Oh, no, there's a no offense taken. Honestly, I'm so stunned by the chain of events, I don't know exactly what to say. My mouth must be working on autopilot. I'm sure this must be some kind of crazy dream, but no, the alien girl on my lap feels too warm, not to mention too solid for that. Speaking of the alien girl, so, what's your name? I am Ina Satilia Anake the Seventh, and Anake the Seventh, Crown Princess of Corval, which is located in Sector 9 of the Ankh Galaxy. Wow, that's a lot to remember, even for a space nerd like me. I've never even heard of the Ankh Galaxy before, or Corval. It seems there's a lot about space I don't know about. But you can just call me Ina if that's easier. I'm tired of the restrictions of my home planet and my duties as a princess, and so I decided to go on a jaunt through the galaxies to find somewhere more hospitable, I suppose you could say. I have heard good feelings about this humble planet of yours, so decided to come here. I might have been a bit too eager while initiating the landing sequence, however. My poor ship broke apart in your planet's atmosphere, though my power suit was able to protect me from the worst of the impact. That and the very kind, considerate boy who offered himself as a shield to protect me. What? Oh, don't mention it. But I must mention it. It was very good of you to catch me as I fell from the sky. Your thoughtfulness made my heart flutter, and so hasty though it might sound, I believe I have come to a decision. What? I am tired of being Corval's princess. I would rather stay here on Earth and become your bride. Does that not sound like a wonderful idea? It's certainly an idea, but I agree with Ina, still operating on autopilot until my last vestiges of common sense kick in. It's hard to think through the fog that's swirling about in my skull, but didn't she say something incredible just then? Wait. My brow furrows for the 50th fucking time. And then, like, I'd agree to marry you. I've only just met you. This is insane. Huh? Does this mean you won't marry me? Sorry, but no. I'm too young to think about marriage, and like I said on the roof, I hardly know you. You do know me, though. You know that my name is Ina Satilia Ananake the Seventh, and that I am the Princess of Corval. What more information could you possibly need? I don't mean to butt in, but Hiyori butts in, but for once I appreciate it. I'm having a hard time dealing with Ina on my own. She might be even clingier than Hiyori herself, which is saying something. You say you're an alien, yes? Yes, that's right. And you come from another planet? Indeed. Wow. Hiyori leans back on the couch, her eyes wide. That really is amazing. I always knew there was intelligent alien life forms out there. This really is incredible. I'm so glad to meet a fellow extraterrestrial. It's nice not being so alone. Ehehe. A fellow? Ina tilts her head askance. Are you not an Earthling yourself? I have reason to believe so, yes, that though I have parents on this planet who have raised me since I was a child, I do not think they are related to me. I have good reason to believe I was adopted, though my parents will not confirm my theories. They always tell me not to be so fanciful, like I am saying all this without proof. It's kind of tiring. Hiyori sighs, then shakes her head. But enough about me, we should be talking about you. I'm really happy to meet you. I hope we can become good friends. Ah, me too. I would like some companions. Now that I have arrived upon this planet, I have never before left the Ankh Galaxy, but I do have some knowledge about Earth. I have seen some of your shows and read some of your books, so I have a smattering of knowledge about your ways. Oh, really? Now this is an interesting piece of news to chew on. How were you able to get your hands on all that stuff? I had it imported. Traders make frequent stops upon this planet, or so I have heard, to buy goods, which they resell in Corval for marked up prices. Few people can afford Earthling entertainment, which is highly prized, but currency has never been an issue for me. I am the daughter of the Anak family, after all. Right, so, is that how you learn Japanese? Yes, indeed, your manga, as I believe you call it, taught me a good deal. I do so love reading manga, particularly the 4-panel ones with funny jokes. They always lifted my spirits when I felt down. I have longed since my childhood to visit the planet which produced such an amusing tale so that I might better immerse myself in your culture. There is much I do not know, but I am willing to learn. I want to discover all Earth has to offer with you, darling. Ina's bright smile pierces my heart. She's so earnestly optimistic I can't help but find her charming. It doesn't hurt that she's so pretty either. It's a relief that despite being an alien, she's undoubtedly humanoid. She has the correct configuration of limbs, as far as I can see. Only one head, and her teeth don't seem to be razor sharp. If she were a space octopus with squirming tentacles, I'd find it hard talking to her, no matter how well-meaning she is. But she looks so like a regular human, it's pretty easy to talk to her. That outfit of hers is really something else, though. It's, good to meet you, Ina. I clear my throat in an attempt to regain my composure. But I'm not sure about your marriage proposal. We've not known each other long enough to consider it, and I'm too young to make such a life-altering decision. We might have to put that on hold for now. What? Really? Ina pouts. But I was hoping we could wed forthwith to secure my citizenship upon this planet. Citizenship. I'm trying my best here. Been doing this for an hour. Come on. I have absolutely no desire to return back home. Won't you miss your family? Somewhat, I suppose. My parents have been nothing but nice to me, but they have always put me under a good deal of pressure. Whenever they speak to me, it is to warn me about my manners or to coach me about my eventual ascension to the throne. I have no desire to deal with that sort of stress. I want to read more manga and watch anime and explore this country, and I wish to do all that with you, my darling. Ina launches herself at me, but I preempted this and am able to shuffle back on the couch before she can envelop me with her embrace. I've gotten pretty good at dodging exultant displays of affection that, thanks to the months I've known Hiyori. I guess you could call it a talent of mine. I appreciate the gesture. I eye Ina with some trepidation, my arms folded. But like I said, this really is too sudden. I haven't even graduated from university yet. University? Higher education. It comes after high school. Haven't you read about it in the manga you like so much? It is a new concept to me. The manga I read all revolved around cute girls, and they attended institutions known as high schools. I was not aware human education persisted beyond such boundaries. I guess that's not too surprising. I don't read much manga myself, but from what I know, these kinds of things do tend to depict overly idyllic lives of high school students. University, by contrast, is more stressful. You're already an adult by that time you go to university, and you've got to start worrying seriously about the future. The university experience is a bit harder to cutify than careless high school antics. This room here that we're sitting in right now, I gesture with my arms, is a club room and a wing of our university. Yori and I are both students. She's 1 year older than I am. I'm studying physics with the hopes of getting a good job once I graduate. I need to work hard or all my efforts and all my money will go to waste. University isn't cheap. I really can't afford to get married now. It isn't very practical. Oh, I see. I suppose I understand. That is unfortunate, but... Ina's eyes light up. That simply means I will have to wait until you have graduated. Then there will be nothing to stop our wedding. Yeah, about that. I run a hand through my hair. How long do you think it'll take me to graduate anyway? I do not know. I am unfamiliar with human customs such as graduation, and your days do not pass as they do in Cornwall. It is hard for me to give a proper estimate, but would it perchance take 2 of your earthen weeks? 2 weeks? I shake my head. I think this girl might be laboring under a misapprehension here. Try 2 years. Huh? Ina's eyes widen. But that is a long time. Yeah, it is. That's why you should probably give up on the idea. I doubt you'd want to hang around here for that long waiting on me. It is true, it is an inconvenient amount of time. I was hoping the process would be much swifter. But if you say I must wait 2 years before you will consider my proposal, then that is what I will do. I do not plan to return to Cornwall anytime soon, you see. I would far rather be your wife than a princess. It sounds like fun. She did say that before, didn't she? She wants to marry me so she doesn't have to become a queen. I don't know if avoidance is the best reason for a couple to get married. But couples on this planet get married for spurious reasons all the time. Love isn't the only factor. Not by a long shot. What Ina's suggesting isn't all that uncommon, actually. Not that I'm planning to tell her that. I don't want to give her any further ammunition to fuel her delusions. Does she actually like me anyway? Her friendliness is awfully effusive, but perhaps that's just part of her culture. I'm busy pondering this when... Oh! Ina jumps, alarmed as a low rumbling sound emits from her stomach. Smiling bashfully, she rests one hand upon her abdomen and says, My apologies for that most ungracious sound. I apologize if I have caused any offense. It's alright, you can't help being hungry. I imagine you haven't eaten a while since you left the palace. That is indeed correct. I was so caught up in my attempts to flee from my home planet, I did not think to eat beforehand. Revi made me some snacks to eat during my flight. She is my maid, but they were not nearly enough to sustain me. I have had a long journey across the cosmos, and I am rather peckish. I was hoping to stop at a moonbucks along the way, but I did not bring any space dollars with me in my haste. Moonbucks? You do not know it? I know something like it. Does it, by any chance, sell coffee? Yes, indeed. How did you know? It was a lucky guess. I am partial to Moonbuck's Black Hole and Stardust Frappe with proton sauce and extra quasars. But alas, I could not afford one. I fear I have missed my chance now. I don't know about Black Hole Frappes, but I can make you something warm and nourishing to eat. Can you really? Would that not be a burden? Not at all. Haru and I were planning to have a hot pot tonight anyway, after we finished stargazing. You're more than welcome to join in. I bought plenty of ingredients. I don't think Haru and I would be able to finish it all anyway. Hot pot? Ina blinks. What is that, pray tell? Haven't you heard of it? Ina shakes her head. I presume from the name it is a meal served in a pot at a high temperature, but other than that I am quite lost. Yeah, that's about right. You fill a pot with broth, which you warm up over a stove, and you throw a bunch of ingredients into it, mostly meat and veggies. Then you wait for it to cook, and pick out whatever you want. Would that not get violent if everybody is trying to grab bits of food at the same time? I know on this planet people eat with sticks that seem useful for gouging. Are you meant to battle for dominance and stab your opponents in the eye with these sticks? No, you've got it totally wrong. You're not meant to fight over a hot pot. That'd be bad manners. You don't need to worry about getting enough food, Ina. There's more than enough to eat, and I'll make sure to set you aside some delicious meat. Oh, I see. Thank you for clarifying. I feel at ease now. For a while, I was worried our leisurely meal would descend into chaos and anarchy. I guess Ina wouldn't be a fan of anarchism, given her home planet seems to be governed by a royal family. Isn't that kind of archaic? Does her family rule over the whole planet, or just part of it? If it is the former, would they be dictators? Space dictators? I wonder if that plays a part in why Ina decided to leave. I'm surprised you've never heard of hot pot, though. I muse aloud, arms crossed. It's a popular dish, especially in the winter. Families often eat it together in groups of friends. It's a good way to bond. Did you not come across that in any of the manga you read? No, I did not. I only had access to a small handful of series, even with my family's influence. There is still much I do not know, but I am aware of sushi at the very least. Sushi, huh? Maybe we should have that together sometime. We could order a huge platter and share it. Hehehe. Ooh, that sounds good. I would very much like to try it. Maybe we can in the future. For now, let us stick to hot pot. I'll start preparing all the ingredients. Hiyori gets to her feet, then rolls up her sleeves. We shouldn't need to do all that much prep work. Hot pot isn't too hard to make and it tastes incredible. I'm sure you'll love it, Ina. Just leave everything to me. Oh. Dude gets, like, collided with. He should probably be dead. Coming at like, whatever speed he came at. And now we're just eating with her. That's it. Crazy. My voice is slowing down. If it comes to it, I might still click ahead a little bit just to see what more the story has to offer. So it's a text-based VN. I mean, pretty standard. Kind of what I figured. I just thought there might be at least Japanese voices, but nah. Oh well. So this is the so-called hot pot you spoke of so highly. That's right, you just reach out and help yourself to whatever you want, like this. Hiyori picks a few bits of boiled sweet potato out of the hot pot, then deposits them in her bowl. They should be good to eat now, though you might want to wait for them to cool down. They just came out of the pot, so they're probably Ow! Hot, I was going to say. Hiyori smiles at Ina indulgently, as a parent might. Ina, meanwhile, is busy fanning her mouth with one hand. Her amber eyes are wide with shock and her face is flushed. I guess she must have burned her tongue. She might be particularly sensitive to shifts in temperature, being an alien. I wonder what the weather is like on her home planet. Are you alright, Ina? Do you need something to drink? I can pour you a cup of barley tea if you'd like. Oh, no. Ina swallows her mouthful of searing hot sweet potato, then offers Hiyori a smile of reassurance. I am quite alright. Thank you for your concern. I did not expect this so-called hot pot to be so, well, hot. Really now. I raise an eyebrow. The clue is in the name. The heat is not unbearable. I was simply taken by surprise, that is all. My tongue does feel rather funny now, though. I believe I shall follow your advice next time and blow on my food before I put it inside my mouth. That should prevent any further mishaps. I hope so. I wouldn't want to hurt you. Hot pot is something you're meant to enjoy, even if it does make your mouth tingle. Hiyori takes a disc of sweet potato from her own bowl and blows on it, then she pops it inside her own mouth. She chews for a few moments, savoring it, and sighs happily. Now that really is good. There's nothing I love more than sweet potato. I think I might like it even more than beef, hee hee hee. What about you, Ina? Do you like it? Oh yes, this food is quite lovely. It is nothing at all like anything I have had on my home planet. I'm happy to hear it. Try some cabbage next and some of the sticky rice that Haru likes so much. Oh, and the beef. It should be done by now. Hiyori picks out more choice items from the bubbling pot with her chopsticks, and deposits them into Ina's bowl. Steam is wafting from the pot, filling the club room with the scent of cooking meat and vegetables. It's a heavy kind of aroma that'll linger on my clothes for days afterwards, but that's a small price to pay given how delicious it all is. I take some beef of my own before Hiyori can swipe the rest and chow down on it. The meat is sliced into fine strips so all the flavor from the broth can seep into it. It really is quite delicious. I know I complain a lot, but I'm starting to think I'm pretty fortunate that I can share a meal with a genuine alien. Ina might have looked like your stereotypical alien with green skin and big bug-like eyes, but there's no denying at this point she comes from outer space. Now that's pretty cool, no matter how you slice it. Not that I have any particular desire to slice Ina up. As intrigued as I am about space, I don't want to see her cut into pieces on an operating table. Ina and I sigh almost in unison as we both swallow mouthfuls of food. I've never tasted anything quite like this before. It is so beyond my scope of experience. I am not sure I have the words to describe it. This meat is so tender and juicy it practically melts in my mouth. It's so easy to eat, I just can't stop myself. Ina plucks a piece of cabbage from her bowl next, then tries to eat it. I say she tries because her first attempt is a failure, as is the second. Hiyori taught Ina how to use her chopsticks while the hot pot was still boiling, but she's yet to master the art. I suppose they didn't use chopsticks on Corval. Maybe they go in for knives and forks like they do in the Western countries. Ina's been fumbling with her chopsticks a lot throughout the meal. She splashed both the table and her clothes with broth from the hot pot, but she's so focused on the meal she doesn't seem to care. I'm tempted to offer Ina some help with the chopsticks, but there we go. The third time is, as the saying goes, the charm. Finally, Ina is able to maneuver the cabbage to her mouth without incident. She chomps down on it quickly as though afraid it might run away from her, which, given Ina's poor track record with her chopsticks, it just might. It's a miracle she's not dropped any of her food on the floor yet. She chews the cabbage, crunching it between her teeth, then sighs and swallows it. This is good too. It is incredibly good, in fact. Now, that's an overreaction if I have ever seen one. I can understand Ina's enthusiasm about the beef, which is high-grade stuff, but this is only cabbage. You can buy cabbages dirt cheap in the supermarket. They're a staple in a lot of poor people's diets, so... They're a staple of a lot of poor people's diets, but maybe they don't grow cabbages on Corval. Ina hasn't seemed familiar with any of the food simmering away on the hot pot. What does she usually eat anyway? You're really enjoying yourself, huh? Yes, I am. Ina nods enthusiastically. This cabbage has such an interesting texture. It is very crunchy, unlike the meat. They complement one another well. All the foods in this pot are so intriguing. None of the separate elements are alike, but that adds to the fun of it. These disparate ingredients all come together to create a truly enjoyable experience. That's part of the fun of having a hot pot. It's full of all kinds of good stuff. Speaking of which, we're starting to run a little low on ingredients. You want me to put more meat in, Haru? Sure, I still have room for more. Can I get more rice cake too? Of course. Hiyori adds a few more ingredients to the bubbling hot pot, then pokes them with her chopsticks. It's a good thing I bought extra beef today. I had a hunch we might need it. Hehehe. This is so good. Ina sighs happily as she takes a bite from the rice cake Hiyori pilfered for her a few moments earlier. This white substance is so squishy. It is very satisfying to chew. It feels so good between my teeth. Now that I have begun to eat, it seems I can't stop. Earthling food is too good. I'm going to get addicted. Ina eyes the bubbling hot pot with eager anticipation, her face flushed with the giddy happiness of a child. I knew coming to Earth was a good idea. Your customs are so intriguing, though I cannot say much about your utensils. These chopsticks are very hard to use, but I suppose that does add the challenge of it all. This is so much fun.
Half an hour later.
That was great. Ina sighs, contented once she's polished off her food, then sets her now empty bowl back down on the table. My stomach is nice and full, and I feel very warm. This so-called hot pot, it's not so-called, that's what it's actually called, has raised my body temperature by a good degree. I feel quite comfortable. I'm very happy to hear that, though I think you might have made yourself a bit too comfortable, hehe. Hiyori giggles, a deep yawn forces its way from Ina's mouth. Are you tired? I suppose so, yes. I am not accustomed to eating so much, particularly not dense carbohydrate-packed foods like that. I believe I am in need of a rest, so my body can properly process your human cuisine. Now that sounds kind of alarming. I'm starting to worry despite myself. Are you feeling alright? The food hasn't made you feel ill, has it? Oh, darling. A wide smile captures Ina's lips. Are you concerned about me? Yeah, I guess. I mean, you are a guest, technically speaking. I'd feel bad if Hiyori and I had poisoned you. It is quite alright. Even if such an eventuality did come to pass, I would forgive you. I know you mean me no ill will. You and Hiyori have been nothing but kind to me from the moment we first met. That is why you are my darling. Ina winds an arm through mine, cinching our bodies close together. And Hiyori is my best friend. A best friend, am I? I like the sound of that, although... Hiyori finishes stacking the dishes and pouts, her index fingers her index fingers pressed together at her front. I'd rather be your fellow alien. I don't think I'm from Corville, but I'm sure I must hail from somewhere beyond this galaxy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna ignore Hiyori's otherworldly ramblings. I have enough on my plate at the moment. With Ina's sudden appearance, I can only handle one bona fide alien babe in my life. Fortunately, I do not think this food will cause me any serious injury, though. I only require sleep. That is all. I have had quite the busy day. My escape from the palace and my landing upon Earth were all very exhausting. This so-called hot pot. Should I even bother trying to correct her at this point? If Ina weren't so good-natured, I'd almost believe she was doing this on purpose. Has finished me off, I'm afraid. Ina shifts away from me at long last, her hands resting demurely upon her lap, then glances about the clubroom. Smiling bashfully, she says, I would hate to be a further burden upon the pair of you, as you have already shown me excessive kindness, but would you happen to know where I might be able to pass the night? I would very much like to rest my weary head before I fall asleep on the spot. Another yawn punctuates the end of this sentence, which adds further credence to Ina's sleepy state. Her amber eyes bead with tears which catch the ends of her long eyelashes. She's so noticeably tired her head is beginning to droop. I'm afraid she really might pass out, face first onto the table without some kind of intervention. She needs to have a lie down at the very least, but, what exactly is to be done in this situation? I guess we could take her to a hotel, but that might not be the best idea. She's bound to draw attention and get up like that. Plus, we don't know how long she'd be staying here. It's impossible to say how many days she'd need a room. That could get pretty pricey. Oh, don't worry about the money. I can afford to put Ina up in a hotel for however long she desires. Really? I blink. Do you have that much disposable cash? I don't mean to boast, that's why I don't often speak about it, but my human parents are pretty well off. They give me a lot of money every month, so I don't need to worry about finances. That's why I'm able to buy so much high-grade beef whenever we have hot pot. Hee hee. I see. I had wondered about that. I always thought the hot pots we have in our teeny tiny club room were suspiciously bougie. Bougie. I guess I know why. Still, I had no idea she was the scion of a rich family. She doesn't act like a well-bred young lady. I've always pegged her more of a tomboy. She doesn't wear makeup, her hair is rather plain, and her clothes are nothing fancy. I always figured Hiyori came from a decidedly middle-class family like me, but I guess not. This is quite the revelation. Now I'm really interested in seeing what her house looks like, but there are more important matters at hand, namely what we're going to do with our resident alien girl, Ina. Even if that's the case, I wouldn't feel comfortable putting her up in a hotel. I can't let you foot the bill. It wouldn't be fair. I cast a pensive look in Ina's direction, and I'd rather keep an eye on her. She knows so little about our culture, she needs somebody to help show her around. Yes, I agree, a hotel wouldn't be practical. Maybe we could let her stay in the club room? I muse, but as soon as I broach the idea, I find myself picking holes in it. No, that's no good either. I doubt any faculty members would stop by and find her, but if they did, she'd get into trouble. She's not even a student after all. And even if she was, she'd need permission to stay here overnight. There isn't a proper bed in here either, and it's rather chilly. The windows could use some more insulating. Yori's not wrong there. This wing of the university is pretty old, as I've pontificated on at great length already, and the walls feel paper thin. Sometimes the window panes rattle when it gets particularly windy, and in the winter chill air always seem to creep through gaps in the panes. I pride myself on being rational, but this building always gives me the creeps. I'd hate to spend the night here alone, assailed by the lowing of the wind. It'd be enough to stretch thin even the strongest of nerves. Ina deserves better accommodation for the night than this dilapidated room, which still smells of hot pot. I think it would be best if I let Ina stay in my place. I have a whole house to myself with 2 spare bedrooms. There's more than enough room for Ina. What do you think? Do you want to stay with me? I can run you a nice hot bath to wash your fatigue, and then we could spend the night talking about your home planet. I would love to hear about it all. As an alien myself, we must have an awful lot in common. We can be just like big sisters. We can braid one another's hair and watch movies and eat snacks, and then next morning I can make you a delicious breakfast. I enjoy cooking a lot, in case you couldn't tell. Hee. Hot pot is my specialty, but I'm good at making fried fish and miso soup too. I'd love to show you what a traditional Japanese breakfast is like. I can see Hiyori's getting excited by the prospect of having a girlfriend about the house. Her eyes are sparkling just like constellations in the night sky. I think this is a pretty good deal if I do say so myself. I wouldn't go in for the hair braiding personally, but I wouldn't turn down a chance to eat a breakfast made by her hands. I can't see anything at all awry about her offer, but to my surprise, that is all right, but do not concern yourself overly with my welfare. I would not wish for you to go out of your way to accommodate me. While these activities do sound fun, I fear I am in no fit state to engage in anything too intense. Your itinerary would exhaust me. I feel simply tired simply thinking about it. Oh, I see. Hiyori's shoulders slump, pouting. She fiddles with the sleeves of her pink sweater. Don't you want to stay with me? Maybe I will in the future, but for now, Ina glances at me, her eyes half-lidded. Would it be alright if I passed my first night upon this planet with you, darling? With me? Ina nods. I have grown very fond of you, and I'm afraid I would not be able to sleep without you by my side. Well, I run a hand through my hair, abashed. This is the first time a girl's invited herself over to my flat before. Not even Hiyori is so brazen. I'm flattered, but it's all so sudden it's left me somewhat stunned. I'm glad you trust me so much, Ina, but that seems a little, I don't know. I am a guy, you know. I am aware you are the male of the human species, yes. And you're a girl. I am indeed a female of the Corvin species. That cannot be denied. But why would that matter? It matters because guys and girls don't usually spend the night together, not when they've known one another for so little time. It's inappropriate. How is it? Ina frowns. You are not a stranger, darling. You are my future husband. We will be spending a lot of time together soon, and as a matter of course, so we must first get used to one another's company. That is only logical. I don't know about that. This is all moving pretty quickly. You really would be better off with Hiyori. She'll take good care of you. She's a great cook. You said you like her hot pot, didn't you? And it sounds like she lives in a huge house. You can have a whole room to yourself. I, meanwhile, live in this cruddy little apartment. Only guys live there, and they're a little weird. Weird? Ina inclines her head. How so? They get, kind of jealous if they see me with a girl. They just might lose it. Kosuke especially, I don't want him beating me up. Goodness, would Kosuke do such a thing? I don't know, I wouldn't put it past him. If this Kosuke does hurt you, I will hurt him in return. I will not let anybody lay a finger upon you, darling. Right, I look Ina up and down. She doesn't seem all that powerful, what with her willowy limbs, but maybe she has shores of hidden strength in that slender body of hers. It is a mystery. Putting that aside, my apartment's nothing special. I don't think it'd be up to snuff for a princess like you. There's only a couple of rooms, and you'll have to sleep on a futon, and that is all right. Ina cuts me off, then shifts close to me on the couch. Oh. She presses her hand on my chest. She presses her hands to my chest, her fingers curling in on themselves, and looks up at me winsomely. Our eyes meet. Ina blinks, her lashes trembling, and says softly, I have grown tired of luxury, having lived in a palace all my life. A change of scenery would be appreciated, and I would be willing to put up with any discomfort for your sake. Please, darling. Ina leans in closer still, until I can feel her warm breath brushing against my cheek. Do not push me away. You are the first human I met when I first arrived upon this planet. That must count for something. Do we not have a connection? I guess so, but that doesn't mean I've got to go along with all your plans. I sigh. This situation is rather awkward, to say the least. I wish Ina wasn't so insistent, but I think I understand where she's coming from. This is her first night spent upon this planet. She doesn't know much about humans, but she does know me. She's decided she can trust me after I inadvertently broke her fall during her descent, and now she refuses to spend time with anybody else. She's gotten herself rather attached, like a baby gosling to their mother. Part of me does think this is cute, but therein lies a problem. I am a guy and Ina is a girl. She's a very pretty girl, in fact, clad in a skin-tight outfit, and she seems determined to make me her husband. I don't know if I'm mature enough to handle this situation, but are you sure you want to stay with me? I am 100% positive. I can't change your mind. Not even by 1%. And you aren't tempted by Hiyori's cooking. It is quite the enticing proposition, but no, I must remain strong for the sake of our future marriage. It would not do for me to sleep under the roof of another, not after I proposed to you. It was a one-sided proposal, I never reciprocated, and I'm still not sure about this marriage thing, but... I glance over Ina's shoulder to Hiyori. What do you think about all of this? I think it'd be more sensible if Ina stayed with me. I'm sure I have more space and the means to look after her, but she seems attached to you. Hiyori giggles. I'd feel guilty if I forced you to come along with me. As Ina is our guest, I think we should let her do what she wants. I concur. Ina nods eagerly, her hair shifting about her shoulders. I should be allowed to do whatever I want as a guest, and for tonight at least I want to stay with you. Ina says, for tonight at least. But I have a sinking feeling things won't work that simply. Knowing Ina, not that I do, not all that well, she'll get attached to my apartment, cruddy though it is, and she won't want to leave. She'll stay there for days, maybe even weeks or months, until she tires of this planet, and I'll have to look out for her. I'll have to cook for her too. My cooking is nowhere near as good as Hiyori's. Ina's losing out, but she doesn't seem to care. Hiyori, to my surprise, doesn't seem to care all that much either. I thought she'd be less approving of this arrangement than she is. She really is too nice for her own good, or maybe she's simply too pure to know what could go down as a result of this arrangement. Either way, she betrayed me. I've got no allies left in this fight. I tried to do the right thing. Really, I did, but it's 2 against 1. I can't keep arguing, not against Ina's puppy dog eyes. I'm not happy about this, but... Alright, fine. I capitulate after a pause. You can stay with me. Yay! Ina exclaims cheerily, her chest pushed up against mine. Thank you, darling. I knew I could rely on you. You really are a wonderful human. Haru is rather wonderful, isn't he? I am partial to him myself. Hehehe. Thanks for the vote of confidence, guys. Your outfit isn't really appropriate for wandering the streets, though. You'll get a lot of curious stares. Really? Ina tilts her head to one side. Why is that? It's, showing a lot of skin. Is it? I thought my attire was rather modest myself. It is common from people who hail from Corval to wear much less. It is a hot planet, and too many layers can be awfully uncomfortable. Maybe that's true on Corval, but this is Earth. People tend to not dress like that unless they're cosplaying. I think we'll need to get you some new clothes if you want to blend in. What do you say, Hiyori? That sounds like a good idea to me. Luckily, it's Saturday tomorrow. We can meet up and go shopping together if you'd like. We can also show Ina around. I think she might enjoy that. Ooh, yes. Ina draws away from me at long last, then beams brightly, hands clasped at her front. I would enjoy that very much. I am most curious about this planet. I want to explore every inch of it. Exploring every inch of Earth might be a bit much, but we can certainly go to Shinjuku and maybe Shibuya. I'm sure we'll be able to pick out a lot of adorable outfits for you, Ina. You're so pretty, you'll look good in anything. Wonderful, I cannot wait. Ina sighs, her palms pressed against her cheeks. I am so glad I landed upon this planet. The people are so nice, the food is so delicious, and tomorrow I shall explore it to my heart's content. I really am lucky. Oh, is this your abode, Haru? It is awfully cozy. So I think my voice is crapping out on me finally a bit. But I think I'm gonna continue a little bit and try not to go too fast. Finish out the night or something. See if we get anywhere with the story. in general, the game seems okay, I guess. Very, very text heavy, using really big words it probably doesn't have to, and even then, some of the translation's a little oof. Like, yeah, I was reading a bit and I was reading fast, but some of the words weren't right, and that's why I ended up changing some sentence. If you really pay attention, if you're just listening, you're fine. I think I translated most of it just all right. So I'm not sure how this all works or if it branches out or what the idea is. I assume it's a visual novel dating sim overall based on the two choices. And it's only been giving you two choices, so I assume the routes are either the human girl that thinks she's an alien or the alien girl that is an alien. But I don't know. The fact that it took over 2 hours to get through a night is a little taxing. Um, so I think it was a good start, but I can't say that I'd jump into everything um, again, to be honest. Again, this it was like a couple dollars way back when. I was just like, yeah, why not? Um, but I don't know. I'm wondering if I. That's why I just saved too. If I skip, yeah, that's what I was wondering. How far it goes if it goes to the decisions. So we could do that and see how it ends. I guess sort of a speed run. Because good lord, did you see all that text? Ah. Won't other guys stare at her? Too much male attention. Possessiveness. It's my alien. Uh-oh. I like Hiyori the way she is to such an extent. In fact, I consider her a good friend. Oh, she kissed him. I don't know how I feel. Just all nips, so I stopped. Alright, back to it. Oh, getting kissed by both of them. A bit exciting. Good morning, Kev. Oh, I think I want to date both of them. So there's three options. Finally. Well, we can figure this out, can't we? Huh. So she confessed. Mine's all jumbled up. Loved so intently. Woman of culture. They both confessed. I'd like to make both of them happy. Dating the pair of them. 3 is a crowd. So I assume they didn't like that. So we'll go alien. I only want to date one. Alien was fine with us dating both. Okay, so yeah, you get her. Alright. I just thought there'd like be more of an end screen instead of just jumping you back. So basically we're just getting the trophies. Hey, I only want to date one of them. Huh. So maybe I I did reject a lot of the earlier advances of Fury, so I guess I'm out of luck there, yeah, because I assume that's what this middle is. Well, maybe they were fine. They were fine with you doing both. That's what I get for skipping everything. But yeah, I don't think I'll end up touching this again. And I figured, so it would give you a night, I guess. But yeah, I'll call quits on this one. It was all right. Again, I'm used to playing a lot more intricate ones. A lot more heavy decisions. Usually more than one, or way more than a couple outcomes. So, it is what it is.